All right, we're actually live.
We're
Start
live.
without interrupt, like without me just hitting, hey, let's record in the middle of the conversation that everyone's having. Everyone's, well, what was happening before? Did we miss out on it? Like, nah, you didn't.
So
This
then
was
I had to that's the George Carlin joke where he talks about you're at a party and everything's really loud, so you have to shout really loud to be heard, and you're like, I know, and then everything gets quiet at one time. That's why I have to have my testicles laminated. You just come right in there, start the podcast. That's why I have to have my testicles laminated.
What's your rant? What's bothering you? Because it's been a month from hell, but I'm curious to see if your day has gone as bad.
Well, you'll love this. You'll love this one, Kev.
All right.
So I wasted, I think, it's at least 5 hours today on a job interview.
And one interview?
Yeah, I drove up to Duluth.
Oh, okay. So you're on the road.
Yes. So the drive time plus the interview. Yeah, it's 5-6 hours, something like that. Complete waste of time. 100% complete waste of time. It was with a government agency up there.
Imagine that.
And I applied for the job, and I looked at the job description. You talk about a lot, Cap. Make sure you get a job description. Sure you get a job description. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. I'm in there in the interview, and they're like, well, you realize that this job is in our utilities department, don't you? And it's like, I read the job description and it seemed pretty general. And they're like, well, we have to write it that way because of the union. And so it's like,
what the fuck?
Why did you have me interview, you fucking retards?
Wait. What is it?
Why did you waste my time? Why did you make me drive up there for you to say, well, actually, this isn't in your field of expertise, DT?
Well, is it or is it not?
Well, I mean, I'm a civil engineer.
Right.
And so there's a lot of different things that I'm trained in that I went to school for. But the particular branch of civil engineering that I've had in my career is not that. But when I was reading the job description, I could have easily, I mean, there's lots of ways that you could have plugged me into this government agency, but it's very, their departments are very divided. It's very structured. There's no like helping out other departments. It's just everything that you think about government employees and government is true.
Without a doubt.
Thing you think. And Duluth is supposed to be this kind of progressive area, right? DFL voters. Oh, we're progressive up here. And they treat people this way. They treat you like total shit like that, just like disregarding your time.
Well, that I would say that's just HR and employers in general. But I'm still trying to figure out, what does the union have to do with not being able to post details?
Okay, so they want the job description general enough so that if they do ask someone to do something, they can't say, well, that's not in my job description, so fuck you. That's the power of the unions. That's the power of the government unions. So they write these job descriptions such that it sounds like, yeah, this sounds great. I could plug in here. I could plug in there. I could plug in over there on this side on Tuesdays, over there next Wednesday. Yeah, I'd be able to work this out great. I have confidence in my own abilities and skills, talents and smarts. I will be useful for this government agency. And of course they have the old question in there that is what they really want to get at. They'll have 10 questions, and then one of them is the one specific detailed skill that they want you to have.
What was it what was that?
Well, I don't want to get into too much details.
Okay. All right.
How much experience have you had designing blank? And I had to say, well, I've had none.
So were they appalled then that you had none and you dare to apply for this job, or did they fully well know that their job description was so bland and bullshit that they were going to, I mean, God almighty, they're wasting their time too. How many people apply for that damn thing?
Let's see, they're getting paid. They don't fucking care.
Oh.
They're getting paid. So what do they care? And I'm sure there's probably rules for government employment that, I scored on this pre-test high. So they had to give me an interview. And then I suppose they can't say before the interview, look, we're really not going to hire you. So it's just putting on airs. It's making everything look legit because they're afraid of getting sued. They're afraid of equal opportunity coming after them, whatever the fuck it might be. And it just ends up treating people like shit. These progressives, these Democrats, these liberals, we care about the brown people and the yellow people and the red people and everybody but the white people. They pretend to care. I mean, when it really gets down to it, they should have just said, I mean, what I'm going to do in the future now is on any job where I have to drive a long ways for an interview, I'm going to insist on a phone interview or a Skype interview. And if they don't want it, then fuck them, But see, they got you by the balls, sort of. It's like if you insist on that, they'll say, well, what does he think he's too good to show up for the interview? Well, we're not going to hire him.
You know what? With 3.8% unemployment, we are too fucking good. It's one of those rare times. The last time it was this good for employees was back in the late 90s when the dot-com mania was going. We were below 4% unemployment, and employers actually had to act like fucking, respected human beings. Now, I think there's people that are still delusional, but it reminds me of the time the story was being told to me. It wasn't Hughes or Halliburton. It wasn't one of the big ones, but it wasn't one of the small ones either that was working out there in the Bakken oil field. And they had some dits fresh off the assembly line in HR, and they were interviewing for welder manager or not an entry-level tradesman, but a manager, a supervisor, a foreman type of level of this tradesman. And so this company or division is like, they couldn't find it, and they're not finding it. They need it, multiple millions of dollars worth of oil is being lost every week. So inevitably the guy comes down. He's like, where is our foreman? We need a foreman. And so they talk to the gal. And she was doing all the controlled interview, uncontrolled interview, and her little HR psychoanalysis and her fucking witchcraft and burning in a cauldron and looking to her crystal ball. And the guy just said, grab the guy, hired him, and says, that person is not interviewing anyone anymore. And she had no clue that the labor market was that tight, that you can't be fucking around with this witchcraft and bullshit and fake job descriptions. And I know the mentality of employers because it's so rare. It's like this. They still have yet to get with the real world, but unemployment is so tight that some of them are getting a rude awakening very quickly now.
But see, government's different. They don't care. That's the problem with government is that I don't think they really respond to they don't really care. There's no profit motive, right? Except for the individual government employee. So the individual government employee's profit motive is there. They want to do a good job. They want to look good. They want to get raises. They want to advance. But as far as the agency itself, they don't give a fuck. They don't care if they're hiring the best and brightest. They don't care. They just want bodies. They want to look like they're doing a good job. It's CYA a lot of times. It's just don't make me look bad a lot of times. And so it's a really I would advise everyone to not, if you're in government work, make sure that you're in government. Don't be a consultant for government. Make sure you actually have the job security of government and the really good benefits of government.
So we got a slight echo. John, can you check your microphone there? John, can you hear us? You there?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You sure the echo's on my end?
I don't know. I can't tell. I don't have that ear that most people do. Say, hey, Bill, Frank, turn it down.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo. Am I echoing?
When you're talking, you're echoing.
Really?
I don't know what that means, if it's on your end or my end, but I'm plugged in. It's not that bad. It's not vile. It's just slightly annoying. I like to have a top-notch show. We have yet to have one, but I want to have a top-notch show.
We'll get there, Aaron. We'll get there.
Someday. I was going to say, also working in these municipal governments, like the federal government and the state government and the county. What is that?
That sounds like Optimus Prime or something.
That's a plane flying by.
You got a mute button there?
I live next to a lake, and they have boat planes that take off and land. And when they take off. They're really loud because you always take off at full power and they're props. So.
Oh.
Sounds like Mr. Roboto for a second.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's when you live on a lake and really. Oh, I just got my place appraised just before the show.
What's it at now?
Well, she said it's somewhere between 590 and 610.
Yeah.
So.
What'd you pay for it?
151.
Holy shit. Dude, just sell it and get out. Just retire, okay? Just leave. Just go. What are you waiting for?
Well, that's the thing, though. I'm going to do that trip in a week or so. I haven't decided where am I going to go. I got to buy something somewhere else. So where do I want to live is the question.
John, get a little closer to your mic. You're a little far away.
Okay. Is that any better?
There are the dulcet tones in there. I was going to say your dulcet tones aren't dulcet.
The only reason we have you on is your voice. It's not your opinions or thoughts that matter.
No, that's the whole question. Like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but where do I go? I mean, I like to live nice. I like nice things,
I'll mail you a copy of Reconnaissance Man. You could take a look at it. It's all outlined right there.
Small town.
Yeah, well, I am gonna go do some recon. But the thing is, I know that I have to live. I can't live in the middle of nowhere. I know my own. I need to get laid. So I have to live in a city.
Based on what the women look like in the Pacific Northwest, you're not getting laid anyway. I mean, you must have found the little cove where there must be the 1% of the hotties that live. But my God, I wouldn't stick my dick in anything I saw over in Tacoma.
Yeah, well, that's kind of. I mean, the millennial generation in general. There's a lot of women that are just piggish. I mean, but there's when you date, I don't date necessarily women in their 20s, but women in their 30s, they start to, they get hit in the face with reality and they start to take care of themselves. And, when you get in your 30s, you can't be shaving one side of your head and dyeing the other half blue. It looks ridiculous.
Oh, don't count them out yet there, John.
New Zealand, John. New Zealand.
New Zealand is right now. New Zealand never recovered financially. I know, but after the earthquakes and stuff, they never really recovered.
No, I think they're doing okay. But the problem with New Zealand is they've got all the rich people are buying up property there. And because that's their get out of Dodge country if the world goes to shit. And so New Zealand's sort of leftist and they've got a lot of land use controls and things like that. And so property values just went way too crazy compared to what people could make over there, I think. And they've got people in power now that are stopping foreign investment somehow in properties because it got so far out of control. But literally New Zealand, the women there, there's more women than men. When I was living there, I was married and it's just like, I felt like I was getting eyeballs on me all the time. It's just like, what the hell is going on? I think the fact that Americans, if you can get over to New Zealand, the fact that you're an American will automatically increase your market value big time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that sounds nice, but I'm not moving to New Zealand.
It's great over there.
Well, that's a little bit too big.
Good coffee. Good coffee.
Too big of a leap for me to move to New Zealand, but I mean, I guess they only have 2 cities in that whole country, so there's not a lot of places to move.
They've got half of their population is in Auckland, I guess. So
okay. But anyway, enough about New Zealand. But Aaron, I'll tell you what. Where you're living in the Great Plains area there,
right?
I don't know. What could I get a really nice, sweet condo up there? How much would that cost me?
You don't want to live in Minneapolis. It's I mean, there's a reason DT and I are looking to get out of the Twin Cities. Okay. I'd be looking. Let me mail you the damn book. Go through the book. I'll give you you're looking at Nashville, Tennessee, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Texas towns. You could do Spokane potentially. I don't know if that's going to be big enough for you, but I mean that's the paradox you're going to face. You want a big town with somewhat attractive young women. You're going to go leftist liberal shitholes. Yeah. And it's just either through land use or restrictions or local ordinances or laws, or because everyone's got to go where all the action is, and we didn't piss away enough money on college. Now let's spend $2,500 a month on rent. you're just going to deal with overinflated property values. Honestly, what I would do, here's what I would do, John. Sell that damn house and then go buy some property out on some outer ring suburbs for cash. Just sit on that shit and then go live on the north side of Chicago for a year. That'll give you a metropolitan area. The chicks in Chicago are awesome. It's a fun place to be. It's the funnest time I had in my life, except for South Dakota. But South Dakota, there's no one out there. I would, and then just that way you don't lose your money. You could still go out and then you could sell that property or lease it out or whatever. But it's going to take a while for you to find the place that, John Steele belongs to.
Yeah. It's kind of a daunting thing because I've been here a long time now, and it just, the idea of moving. But I'm realizing I'm so my value system is so not in alignment with with Seattle. I mean, if you're right of Karl Marx, you don't fit in here too well.
Well, didn't they fucking ban straws in Seattle?
Oh, that's California.
I thought Seattle banned it too, or they're looking into banning it.
Probably they're looking into. I just saw a tweet James Woods put up about how having a lawn is now considered a racist white supremacist thing because it's doing damage to the environment and it's a symbol of white suburbia or something. I was like, you got to be fucking shitting me! I can't believe this.
I hope for whatever non-political, apolitical young men and women are out there. Do you realize why the left is insane? This isn't coming from the right. This insanity, and that's what it is not coming from the right. It's coming from the left, the hardcore soul of the left. And I can see why the walk away movement has. They're just getting nuts. They are so fucking bored. They have nothing else to do that they're going to ban freaking straws, and now lawns are racist.
Yeah, lawns are racist. I'm not making that up. I mean, someone actually came out. Lawns are racist. I mean, I mean, what did I? It was, who posted it? I think. Liz, here's another one that was posted by Luke, our friend Luke. What did he just post on Facebook? It was.
He said globalism. Yeah, I saw you commented on that.
Oh yeah, globalism. Now, if you say someone's a globalist, that is an anti-Semitic slur.
That's an anti-Semitic slur? What? How is that anti-Semitic?
I don't know.
What's in the line of reason? There's usually some weak, sad, faulty, flawed line of reason. I don't even see the fucked up leftist logic in that one.
I think there are anti-Semites that will use the word globalist. It's always this dog whistle. I mean, they've so backed us into the corner on language that now they have to invent, that this word means that, and it's a secret dog whistle. Like we're all just speaking in code all the time. Like we've got our little, like out of Christmas Story.
Oh, his computer went bipolar again.
It went bipolar. Well, on his point, there is a line from George Orwell's 1984 where they say if you control the language, you can control the way people think.
Yep.
So once you take control of the language, which the left pretty much has. I mean, you know all these words you're not allowed to say anymore. I mean, for fuck's sake, you can't call someone male or female anymore. They're like, did you just assume my gender? So
I never understood that. How does that mean you could control the people? I mean, wouldn't the people? I mean, at some level, let's put this honestly. What percentage of the people out there actually believe lawns are racist or that banning straws is a good thing? I can't see your rank and file everyday Democrat that just thinks the Democrat Party is there for the little guy. I can't see them agreeing with, yeah, we should ban straws, or everything is now racist or sexist that there's 31 flavors of gender. So I don't see how controlling the language, they don't really control it. They control it in academia. They control it in their little thought police world. But you get out into the real world, most people are going to tell them to fuck off.
Well, it depends where you are, Aaron. You have to realize, I mean, you talked about, I think you wouldn't even visit Portland. I mean, you were scared of getting, herpes simplex 15.
Yeah.
If you go to those places, that's there's like, what's it called? Like kind of herd policing, where the community kind of polices itself, and anyone that's stepping outside there, you'll be ostracized or, God forbid you go to a restaurant and you say something wrong, they're going to fucking piss in your food. I mean, so you got to be careful in these. I'm not kidding, man. In Seattle, I can't have normal conversations if I'm not in my, among my friends and stuff. And if we go out to, a bar, restaurant, I like to, go out with my friends sometimes, just grab a bite or have a drink. And you got to be careful,
That's how they're inventing new things to, new words to condemn us. If we use the word, globalist, all of a sudden we want to fire up the furnaces again or something.
They're just finding another way to stop you from trying to use that word, because leftists ultimately are globalists. They want this centralized control of everything. So so they don't want any.
They just need one excuse, though. I mean, think of Charlotte, the Charlottesville thing. It was sort of a non-event, really. I mean, some guys showed up with tiki torches, big fucking deal, right? And then the left went nuts, and now that is like the poster child for the right? I mean, you hear always comes up Charlottesville, and it was completely manufactured.
Yeah.
And so that's what they do. It's all that you just need to give them one little excuse, and it becomes kind of reality. Like Trump saying, when he was talking about there's some Mexicans that come across the border that are rapists and bad people, right? That all of a sudden you say the lie enough times that he was saying all Mexicans are rapists and thieves and murderers, that it becomes true. It becomes reality and truth in people's minds. Same thing with the Russia collusion. You just keep saying the lie over and over
I think they pushed that one too far. I think even the leftist people are sick of that Russia thing, mud Russia. I think that they've overplayed there. Well, the left always does, doesn't that is a component of the left. They always do this, right? Always overplaying their hand.
But it convinces enough people, though. I think there's enough. I think they overplay because they know 30% of the people are just fucking idiots and will just lap it up. I mean, even today, Facebook came out and said, there's 38 accounts that are showing signs of being Russian influence over our politics. Not over any elections, just posting stories. And, who knows who they banned? These 38 people sought to conceal their identity even more than the Russians last time. And that was national news. 38 fucking accounts. Yeah.
Well, I gotta read the chat. The Stoic says, well, first he says the paper straws are wrapped in plastic. That's funny. Then he says this chat is lame, and they never look at the comments. I'm going to the older sister podcast. Hey guys, we are reading it. Say something funny, insightful. I promise I will read it out. I may not be able to read it out that second because I don't want to be rude and interrupt Aaron when he's speaking. But
well, did he write something funny, or did you write something rude?
Well, there's some incredible guy says, did you hear about the 3D printed guns? The left is going crazy right now. Yeah, I did. I didn't hear all the details about it, but now you can, these 3D printers. I don't know how much you know about them. It's theoretically possible to, if someone knows more about this, post it in the chat. You can theoretically print a functioning firearm with a 3D printer.
Good. Guess I'll go get myself a 3D printer.
Yeah, it's with the AR-15s because the gun is just, I think, the lower receiver. I can't remember which one, the upper or the lower. That's
probably lower, I'd imagine.
That's
lower.
The entire gun. And so if you're able to 3D print the lower receiver and then buy everything, all the other parts, just online, those aren't guns. The parts of the AR-15 aren't the gun. It's just the lower receiver that has the serial number on it. And then you could make an AR-15 basically outside the system. They said it only lasts about 2 bullets.
Eddie V said a federal judge blocked it temporarily, so there's a TRO on it, apparently. I don't know about that. I don't know if he's speaking truth. I'm just reading what the comments say.
I will worry about it later. Whatever happens.
Well, I'm all for it. I think the more guns, the better.
I'm obviously for it too. It's right now we're speculating on an internet chat. But not to say I don't believe the people in the chat room. It's just I'm sure this is going faster than what we could keep up on.
Right,
but there was a story that just came out today about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get back to this because I want you guys to explain this to me. Is it the concern that I'm trying to figure out the 1984 Orson Welles control the language, control the people? Is it to the point that it's an escalation where at first it's taboo, then it's impolite, then it's so bad and impolite in society that you will get ostracized or doxxed and have your job taken away. And then the final part is where saying whatever word is the latest bad word can have criminal consequences to it. Is that what the slippery slope we're worrying about? Because that's about the only thing I'm really worried about right now. The ostracization and getting doxxed and getting fired, of which certainly has happened already.
Yeah, well, Aaron, go back to, let's say, before Obama was elected, like let's say after he got the nomination. Mm-hmm. Everybody was against gay marriage, right? Like, he was even against gay marriage, and he's left of Marx. So he came out and said, marriage is between a man and a woman. Just think how dramatically things have changed in the last 8 years. We had, there was none of this gender fluid, non-binary, other kin nonsense, where people are now deciding to be a cat, and they've passed laws. Like, look what's happened in Canada, where it's actually illegal. Like, yes, actual legislation.
They passed the law, right? That's where it gets dangerous. Right.
It's been criminalized to not recognize someone by their assumed gender, and there's no definite. You can just assume any gender you want, and apparently it's not set in stone. So you could be fluid. You can be a man one day, and on Tuesday you're a woman, or you then that's your gender fluid day, or whatever the fuck. So yes, that's exactly what they try to do, and insanity knows no bounds. It'll just keep spiraling. And eventually, because you were talking about, well, they don't, in academia they control it, or on their bubbles they control it. Yes, but these are the bubbles of that are that impact the laws. These are the leftists are always getting their psychos in charge. Like, they have that nutcase in California, the governor, Jerry Brown. This guy's a total fucking socialist nutcase. Mm-hmm. And they pass more and more laws. That's why everybody with money who has a job, everybody that's a productive citizen is getting the fuck out of that state. Mm. I think they're mostly going to Texas.
And then you can also kind of see, I'm starting to see the connection now. You can almost see it where, Justin Trudeau, gosh almighty, this is apolitical. The feminists, they want their pound of flesh no matter what. They're going back 20 years because Justin Trudeau, spanked a girl in the ass at a party one day. What did he do? I'm starting to wonder, okay, 20 years ago, you're at a party drunk in college, you try to kiss a girl. Is she going to come back 10 years from now when we've passed law saying, there's no statute of limitations on that, and now we qualify trying to kiss a girl at a party as sexual assault?
Well, imagine if it's words-based, too. You're back to your point of, of controlling language, and there's words that you just can't say now. People get banned on Facebook and Twitter for certain words, right?
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of George Carlin's bit in 1972, the 7 dirty words, right? The words are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. Those are the 7 words you can't say on television. There would be a completely different list now, wouldn't it? It would be completely different. It would be another word for transmission. It would be another word for a bundle of sticks. It would be another word for black with an ER on the end. Those would be the words now that you could potentially go to jail for eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not going down. I'm not going down like that. That's the thing is, I don't hang out and run into circles like you do, John, where you actually run into. And I've had opportunities unbeknownst to me before, and I do go to the city. I must run into liberal people, but they must have a sixth sense about them to know who not to fuck with. Because no one has ever tried to correct my pronoun usage. No one's ever lectured me. Like, I purposely will throw recyclables into the compost garbage bin in front of everybody at Chipotle because it's fuck you, Chipotle. I like your fajitas, but fuck you. I'm sick and tired of your lecturing and your sermoning. But no one has gotten in my face. Nobody. And the second someone, that's the only way to fight back at these people. If they say, hey, you can't call her a she because she's a he. Fuck you, make me. I'd love to see you make me right fucking now. And just get right. There will be immediately consequences if you start telling me how I'm supposed to speak. But that opportunity never presents it. So they always go scheming around the back, and all of a sudden you wake up someday. Now it's illegal to call DT a he.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what they do. That's the scary thing because the left doesn't like physical confrontations because,
they're pussies.
Their T levels are negative, So, if you got a T level lower than your IQ, you got problems. So that's what they do. Like I was just like the girl that came here. She was an Asian girl and nice body on her, but I'm not into the yellow skin. But she said, "Why do you want to sell it?" I said, "Well, basically, I'm sick of all these blue head liberal freaks." And and I'm sure she was probably well, I don't know. She had a real job, so maybe not. She's working in real estate, but she had to have a lot of left-wing indoctrination on her. But I said, we're in my home. I'm going to speak the way I fucking speak. I said, my politics are a little bit right of Hitler, and I can't really hang out with these Karl Marx fucks. And that's exactly what I said. She laughed, and I said, we're in my world now. I get to speak how I want.
Now you're scaring her. She's thinking, what other rules does he have in his little kingdom here?
Yeah. But no, I was very pleasant, very polite to her. I even walked her out and, at the whole thing after she, went and took her notes of my place and she had, it was kind of nice. It was a free thing. By the way, if anybody who lives who owns property and you live in a city or town that's, has a Redfin presence, they'll come to your place for free, give you an estimate, and they'll break it down. They have charts and everything comparing similar property values. They go through your place. They'll talk about the market, which time of year is best to sell, where you live. I don't know why I'm plugging them. I'm not getting anything for it.
Wait. What's it called? Redfins?
Yeah, redfin.com. Yeah. It's and it like what it is like normally when you sell a house you have to pay a seller's commission and the seller has to pay the commission of both his agent and the agent that's of the buyer. Right. And it's usually 3% each. So it's 6%. It's a big chunk of money when you're talking about like $600K. That's a lot of fucking money coming out of you. 6%.
That's a new car that you can have stolen.
Yeah, fuck you. By the way, I got a camera now actually mounted in the garage, a wireless camera, so I can see if anyone steals my fucking car. Hopefully I don't think it's going to happen anymore. But now I lost my thought. But
you're just saying they basically cut the realtor out.
Yeah, so they just take 1% flat, and for that 1%, they'll come in. They literally do a video thing of your whole home, like a 360 video. They take all these pictures up, they put it on their website, and you don't really need a traditional agent anymore because everybody does everything online now, especially like in a city like Seattle. Motherfuckers don't go around driving to, like in the old days when I bought my place, a real estate agent picked me up and drove me around to different. This is not like that. Everybody goes online. They know you plug in how many square feet, how many bathrooms, what kind of view you want, and then all the properties will come up, and then they can literally click on that property and get like a virtual tour. So anyone who has property and just if you want to know what your place is worth, if you want to know what the current value is, they'll come and just for free. It doesn't cost you shit except your time. It costs you maybe 45 minutes of your time. That's it.
Yeah. No, you can. You can list it on like Trulia, even if you just want to get a bite, see what it's worth and what it's out there for. And I was kind of surprised because I was getting bites on my house and I thought I had placed it way too highly valued. But as per our previous conversation, I'm kind of reluctant to sell until I got another place to go and buy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Also, but you learn some interesting things like what time of year is the best time to list it. Things like that. So that apparently the best time of year to list your property is at the end of February.
Yep, it's when right before school gets out. Yep, it's that. Families buying houses want to make sure they got their kids in the new school by the end of summer.
Oh, oh God.
That's why.
That's the reason. Drive this fucking real estate market. Oh my God, you're so right.
Yep, that's what it is.
You need to go to a good school. Oh, just for what? For what? Like 4 years? Are they targeting the high schools, or is it like for the entire K through 12 schools?
It's K through 12. They're all on summer vacation at the same time usually. So. It's before Labor Day and after Memorial Day or whatever. Yeah.
Well, they got these accredited online high schools now where you don't even have to go. Do you know how much I would have snatched at that opportunity to go to an online high school and not have to go to school? Just do it all online. They have it now where you don't have to actually attend a physical school. You just stay at home, go online, take your classes in high school, get your diploma, and then you're done. I'd be done by the time I was 15. I would have started at 13, been done and then
Oh
I'm out
yeah,
of here.
I would have graduated high school at 14. But the problem with that is how if you're doing it online, how do you know which pronouns you're supposed to use?
Don't worry, I'm sure it's in the curriculum there somewhere. No, I'm sure.
That would be a great idea though for an enterprising young man would be to go through, get your high school diploma, or just right before you get your diploma. And let's say you got a few years left. Then you go to school just to have fun. You don't even have to worry about going to class, right?
Yeah, you just go there to pick up chicks and
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Go to school to have fun. Go to school? Go back to the prison? That makes no sense. What are you going to sit in the cafeteria with your dopey ass friends and deal with the bullshit of high school? Dude, I'd be out playing, riding bikes, playing video. The last place you play hooky to get out of school. Why would you go back just to fuck with the
But
team?
if you didn't have to, you didn't have to worry about taking tests,
you could put M80s in the toilet. Just shit. Do all sorts of stuff. I mean, if you're not worried about getting kicked out or expelled, or they give you detention, you say, "Fuck that, I ain't going." What are they gonna do to you?
Nothing. You're already gonna get your diploma. Yeah, exactly.
Had I get my diploma, well, fuck yourself. I think it would be great.
Yeah, had I known how little power those teachers actually had, I probably would have gotten killed or gotten in a lot more fights. But the amount of bullshit, we're gonna put you, it's the classic double secret probation. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, at home suspension. I guess I'll go home and do my work and sleep in and watch cartoons. It's just
well, back to the whole leftists, attacking, when they choose to attack. It sort of relates to what we just talked about here. They only attack when they have leverage, right? When they can, without much effort, punish you. When they don't have to risk getting hurt or it's only when they have the advantage or some kind of leverage that they'll attack. Otherwise, they'll stay away. I think that's. You were talking earlier, John, about sometimes you say things and they won't say anything, right? Or most people won't say anything if you drop a bad word here or there. But if they've got that leverage, if they know where you work, or or something,
or there's 8 of them,
or there's some way for them to have leverage and advantage. That's when they're courageous enough to attack. And I used air quotes that you couldn't see there.
Now you guys making me want to go down south to Uptown or Crocus Hill area in St. Paul with a MAGA hat on and just wait, just sit.
Well, did you see what happened in Seattle? I think it was posted on Fox News where there was just some kid. I couldn't see his name because he was I couldn't see his face because he was filming it, but he seemed like he was really young. And he was just walking. I think it was in Capitol Hill on Broadway in Seattle, and he's just wearing his MAGA hat. And some guy just comes along, grabs it, throws it down, spits on it. Whatever. I mean, it was unfucking believable.
Well, did he get the guy's face and file a cop complaint?
Yeah, well, it was posted on Fox News, so I'm assuming. But I mean, you also have to understand. I think we have some fucking liberal cunt police chief here, who, the regular rank and file cops, good guys. I've had to deal with them, professionally when I was running this building, and then also recently with my theft. But they're good guys. They're aces. But the fucking hierarchy, these are all appointed positions, right? They're appointed by the mayor and everything like that, who are all fucking Marxists, and they're forced to deal with that shit.
I don't know if you're familiar with the news over here with our police department in Minneapolis, not where DT and I live, but Minneapolis. They keep having shootings, and the shootings are all over the place. And I love how it puts leftists against leftists in the Twin Cities, because not to bore you with details or geography, but this woman who was the fiance of this guy who lived, hang on, I got cops coming.
Aaron's being swatted.
Yeah.
They know not to come here.
That's another thing leftists will do. They'll have you swatted because, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, so this gal, they lived in Arden Hills, which is the rich trust fund, baby, elite, wimpy armed, baby boomer place that people live. And they're all liberal, they're all leftists. and this fiance of this guy, there was these cops called to the neighborhood, and she saw the cops, so she went to knock on their door, and one of the cops just reached over and plugged a bullet right in her heart, and she got killed. And
I remember the story. That was
right.
a while back.
And now here's where the liberals and the leftists and their policies get all mixed up. This was a Somali cop. The mayor at the time, Betsy Hodges, could not line up to suck enough Somali cock and show her diversity credentials and we're accepting. Guaranteed.
He was the first Muslim cop, I think, in Minneapolis. Is he the first?
Yeah. He can't be the first Muslim cop.
I think so. They had some kind of big ceremony about it. That they showed
really?
Pictures. Yeah, they showed pictures back when he made or whatever he made, sergeant or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he made sergeant. Anyway, so they lowered the hurdle so a caterpillar could jump over it.
Exactly.
This guy got nowhere near the training. You sent him out. Now I think he's under arrest or he's getting charges. I know they launched the $50 million lawsuit against their beloved city of Minneapolis and the police. And it's just like, if you had just pursued excellence and safety and good training and meritocracy, this wouldn't have happened. Right. But these guys, and that's another reason you got to think about getting out of Seattle there, John, is the cops. Yeah, you're right. The rank and file might protect you. But if the cops aren't going to press criminal charges because they don't like you because you're a white male and they got to prove to the mob that, hey, look. I mean, we got the other thing. What was the other one, DT, where they shot a black guy in North Minneapolis because he had a gun and he was shooting it in the air and everything. And the family were like, we don't want an investigation by the Internal Affairs Department. We want justice. It's like, well, wait, that is the definition of justice.
Well, they're becoming the lynch mobs of the past, right? I mean, it's a lynch mob.
Well, I also think a lot of these people just don't want to obey laws. They just don't want to obey laws, and that's how simple it is. And he didn't do nothing. It's like, no, he did do something. He had a gun and he's shooting it off in the air.
What the fuck?
I heard it on the news. I laughed because it's like they're protesting the shooting of blah, blah, blah. I think they just decided to not press charges, I think. And so they're going to protest again. And they described the incident that it was a man with a gun and he pointed it at the cops and was shot dead. Yeah,
if that's not a good shooting, what the fuck is?
Yeah, I mean,
what do the cops have to take a few rounds in the chest before they're allowed to fire back?
But that's again, these people do not want to obey the laws. That's it. They don't want to be held to any standard. They want to be able to just do whatever they want to do. And what's sad is you got to think about this. If you think it's a racial thing, this guy is firing a gun randomly, and he was drinking. I believe. We'll find out in the investigation.
The malt liquor, right? The malt liquor. Probably.
No, I think it was maybe something. It doesn't matter. The whole point is he's discharging a firearm in a predominantly black neighborhood. Now, somebody in fucking Wayzata ain't going to get hit by that bullet, but there's a damn good chance some innocent black person is. And so I'm kind of shocked. Like, well, where's the community on this? Where, wait a minute, you're gonna defend this guy who's putting all your lives at risk? Right. There's just this, I don't want to say insanity, but there's a gap or a lapse in logic or critical thinking where it's like, hey, maybe you don't want that guy randomly firing bullets in your neighborhood. But no, it's justice. We need justice. And then I think they released the camera footage. The cops did have body cams, and there's a pistol. And then I don't know what happens to the human psychology. It's like, oh no, that was just a drink. That's not a gun. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. Santa Claus exists. Bill Clinton didn't get a blowjob by Monica Lewinsky. We didn't land on the moon, and the earth is flat. Whatever it is, you got to tell yourself to abdicate or absolve yourself of any responsibility, or just saying like, yeah, you know what? Cousin Joe fucked up. And I wish Cousin Joe was here, but, he was firing bullets into the neighborhood. And I'm kind of like glad that maybe the neighborhood's a little bit safer without, bullet crazy Cousin Joe.
Yeah, there's probably more people alive today because he's no longer with us. Someone like that is, talk about a menace to society that he did do something. By the way, you forgot the Easter Bunny is also real.
No, dude, Easter Bunny is real, man. Don't you be. And you are an Easter Bunnyist, and I'm going to go dox you, motherfucker, for not believing in the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, I get. Well, they maybe they're against that one though because that's a Christian thing. So they, because they don't like the Christians either.
I'm always amazed. You got to think like, what's next? They're going to ban straws. Lawns are right. I mean, we got to chronicle it somehow. Like every year come out with a compendium of the dumbest shit leftists said in 2017, the dumbest shit leftists said in 2018.
Well, if you have to wait a whole year to categorize it, that's going to be a long list. I mean, you can kind of do it by the week.
Dumb Shit Weekly, Liberal Dumb Shit Weekly,
Liberal Dumb Shit. That's a new show right there. Someone in the chat, dude, start your own YouTube channel, Liberal Dumb. Because just today I got two. Globalism, calling someone globalist is anti-Semitic,
right?
And what was the other one?
Lawns are racist.
Oh yeah, lawns are racist. That's just today, man. That's just a fucking Tuesday.
Didn't you have a guy, one of your aldermans up there, or city councilman, or whatever they call them? He claimed that sidewalk sprayers were racist because it would remind people of the olden days when they would get hosed during the race riots.
Yeah, like when they turned the fire hoses on the protesters in the civil rights era. So yeah, that was
how for a black man. He was black. I remember that he was a Black Panther too. How micro dick does your dick have to be that you're going to go and bitch and whine and complain about something? I mean, holy cow.
I do remember that. That was something else.
But see, that's the side that the city is on. That's the city. Well, he is the city. I think it was a council member or whatever.
Yeah, this guy held elected office. For
right. And then you got your quad gay tripod panzer Faust gendered police chief who's going to like not pursue criminal charges or whatever else. Forget it. Just forget it, man. You got to get out of that environment because, the day's going to come. You're going to get shot. You're going to want to, sue the police department for something or other, or it's, and they're going to say, oh, no, we're not doing a criminal investigation. There's just no reason. You live in a micro-communist dictatorial state. And what's worse is the people believe it. They're not like pissed off, oppressed Russians who deep down inside hate Stalin for killing their mother and taking all their seed crop. I mean, these people, they bow at the altar. They actually believe the shit that the city council tell them.
Yeah, it's frightening. You're right. I got to get the fuck out. You're right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I do. It's just, there's a certain level of inertia when you live someplace for a long time. Hey, shout out to Christopher Morales. He goes, hey, Aaron and the other older brothers. Just bought a house in cash at 24.
There you go. Florida. What part of Florida?
He didn't say. He just says Florida. Any new homeowner tips? That's a good question. I wish I had some time to think about that.
Well, let's.
Let's spitball about that. What are some good homeowner tips?
I would do an inspection yourself immediately.
Yep.
On your property, even though you probably had it inspected already, to look for things like cracks in the foundation and any kind of water damage down in Florida. But I guess you guys don't have basements, so you don't have to worry about that as much. Take a look at your roof. I mean, do a real good, thorough inspection and get to know your house very well. And if there are any problems, fix them now, like roof, whatever else. If I would immediately, if you got a house that needs to be painted, I would get siding, side it immediately so you never have to paint that fucker.
The maintenance-free siding, you mean?
Yeah, maintenance-free siding. Your roof, take a look at that.
Yeah, the thing about water is once you let it, it's like cancer. You want to cut it out early. Mm. He says, P.S. we'll have a lot of Amazon purchases next week, so he's going to be buying a lot to stuff. For his new home, which you do. That's another thing. So be careful with the credit card. Put it in a block of ice, so you're not spending too much too fast. Look around for the best prices.
Buy a set of tools. Buy a good set of tools, and use YouTube to fix some shit yourself.
Yeah, I would say the best tool that I got it for my wedding. Actually, it wasn't on the wedding registry, and Mrs. DT was a little upset about it. But it is the single most used present I ever got. I got it from my uncle. A miter box. If you get a saw miter box, and you'll use that on studs. You'll use it. You'll fix everything with that miter box.
And Chris, if you're listening still, another thing I would say: learn basic wiring. That YouTube videos will teach you how to do that. Learn basic wiring, and there'll be so many things you can take care of in your house. You can totally trick it out the way you want. You want to put dimmer switches in and things like that. And so I would do that. Another thing, I would make my home as I don't know what electricity is like in Florida. I know some parts of the country, like what they fortunately in Seattle, that's one thing we don't have to pay a lot for is electricity. But they fuck us on our water though. So as a homeowner, you're going to have all these expenses you're not used to. So you're going to have to learn how to budget for them because you are going to be paying for things like water, sewer, garbage, all that stuff that, if you were renting or you were living with your folks, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty impressive. 24. I mean, I bought my place at 24, but I didn't pay cash. I had to borrow.
Yeah, I didn't pay cash either.
Well, 20, that's impressive. I mean, my next house I'll be paying with cash because I'm going to be selling this one. But wow, 24, props to you, brother. I don't know how you did that. That's I got to say.
That's outstanding. Yeah, that's great. And if you don't fuck it up, you're going to be set for life here. That's going to make life a lot easier. One thing I would say, I'm no big environmentalist, but I do like conserving because you save money.
Right.
I would, if you can, put in the water efficient spigots and shower heads. Switch out any of those high, especially in your kitchen. They might have these like very high energy consuming light bulbs, and they cook out a ton of heat. Switch those out to the low energy efficient bulbs.
Yeah, they're LEDs. That's a new thing is LEDs. It used to be complex because I just put in a new. I got some man points, Aaron. I just rewired a floodlight for my deck. And they use LEDs because the thing about that, the reason that light bulbs, the old incandescents, was so efficient was so much of the electricity, the wattage was being transferred to heat instead of light. Yeah. So the new things are the LEDs, and these things last forever. They don't. Well, eventually, I guess they do burn out, but they last so much longer.
Well, and I the reason I recommend that is not only for energy saving, but they do kick out so much heat. I mean, in my kitchen, I had to switch them out because it got too damn hot in the kitchen during summer. I was like, oh, darn. So you can't just open up the door or anything like that.
Yeah, this guy's in Florida. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, things like that.
And then another thing I'd say is your insulation. I know people think insulation is to keep heat in, but it's also to keep the cold in. And so during those summers in Florida, that's going to be your biggest expenses running those air conditioners. But don't make the air conditioner run more than it has to. I'd insulate the heck out of your house, caulk any little cracks, or you want your house to be airtight. Also, so you don't get no critters in there too. But yeah, just a good thorough once over on your house. Mm-hmm. And it'll take a year or two because you got to go through different seasons to fix different things. But after the second year of you being very thorough, but what's the word I'm looking for? On top of it, tenacious,
consistent. Yeah.
You're just on top of it, so that 2 years of labor is definitely going to go a long ways in maintaining the longevity of that house.
Well, here's another thing to look into, buddy. Insurance. You got to have homeowners insurance. So
is that mandatory?
Well, no, it's not mandatory, but it's stupid if you spent that much. Because I imagine this was pretty much this guy's whole savings he just bought his house with, unless he's, I don't know. If he's listening to this, I don't think he's a trust fund baby, so I'm assuming he had to work hard for that money. So
it's mandatory if you've got a mortgage.
If you got a mortgage, he paid in cash. So
that's right. I keep forgetting that.
So
make sure you pay your taxes. Yeah, because when you don't have a mortgage, you're not having your taxes automatically taken out. So the twice a year or whatever you need to send in the check, make sure you don't miss those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing. You're going to have to budget for things like that. You're going to have to budget for your property tax so that, when that big fat bill comes, if here it's in April, I have to pay it. We can split it in half if you want. You could pay half in April and half in October. I just pay the whole fucking thing in April. I mean, I know it's coming, so you got to budget for that. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you're gonna have to budget for because it is an expense. I mean, it's an asset that generally speaking appreciates, but there's a lot of expenses with home ownership. So you're gonna have to really work on your budget there. But the guy that's to be honest, you probably should be giving advice. If you're 24 years old and you bought your place with cash, I'm like, Jesus, man, you tell me how you did it because that's impressive.
That's no, I think I know, Chris. Chris, tell me if in the chat room we pester each other occasionally on Twitter or Facebook, if I remember correctly. I've been banned from Facebook for the next couple of weeks anyway, but I think I know Chris from exchanges and going back and forth. But no, that's great, man. That you bought a house with cash in Florida, no state income tax. Oh, that's great. I don't even think he realizes how far ahead he is in the game right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking, damn, man, 24. This guy's set, man. My advice would be, see, because you got your shit so well together, be careful about women. You're a young guy, so there's a lot of women probably seeing dollar signs. He says he's a teacher, science.
Okay, cool.
So I guess if that's a government job, so you don't have to be worried about getting fired unless you address one of your students with the wrong pronoun. But other than that, you're probably safe because it's a government job with a government union.
Another thing I'd recommend, maybe you get a roommate or something. He doesn't want to turn into a frat house. You don't want to turn into a frat house. Like he's got to have that stable, reliable friend that he can invite over. He can pay a little bit in rent. Plus, I think at that young of an age, that's kind of hard to be living alone. I'd imagine. I don't know what his social life is like, but you kind of want.
He just said he's married.
Oh, he's married. Oh, well, never mind then. Jeez, this guy's way ahead of the curve.
He's way ahead.
How many kids?
Hey, buddy, you should write a book
kids.
and start your own YouTube channel, man. You got your shit together, man. This is double it, and the wife works. Holy shit!
Wait, now. Let me guess. His wife has got huge cans and is a 10, and she's a Victoria's Secrets model on top of it, probably, right?
Yeah, this is turning into a fish story. Like there's a fish. This guy's life is fucking perfect. I don't know. I mean, he's
making all of us feel like shit. Thanks a lot, Chris, you asshole.
Well, if you got your house, you pick up a bunch of skills, learning how to fix stuff up. I mean, he's got it paid off. He could go get a mortgage on some other property, turn it into a rental property, get some cash flow that way. If it's close,
you got to deal with people. Look. He's got it. He's got it. Okay,
but he's young and full of energy. He's not old and cranky like that.
Hang on. Were you going to go buy a house over on the lake somewhere? Wasn't that your brilliant idea?
Yes.
Okay, how'd that go?
Well, it wasn't really my brilliant idea. I was entertaining the idea. Yeah.
Okay, the enemy of good is perfect.
Yes,
right now,
right.
He's got it really good. He doesn't need to rent it out. He doesn't need a lawsuit shoved up his ass by some fucking leftist socialist jerkwad. And there was mold. Oh my God, I'm suing. And then he's out on his ass. He's got a good government job. He's got a wife. He's got a house paid off. I don't think we should give him advice. Frankly, I think we should just.
I think we should have him on the show. I mean, he's the younger brother that. No, he said. Well, he does say maybe he owes his success to you. He says he's been listening to Aaron Cleary forever. So maybe he's been following your advice since he was in high school. So see what happens, kids. You follow Aaron's advice. Start young. And by 24, you're set.
Hey, there's been more than one success story. I'll say now. If you hang on, this is a good time to segue. If you really, really think, Clary helped out, you can always make a donation. I want everybody to do this. Not make a donation, but check this out. Because DT, how you had your rant and rave, how you wasted 6 hours. Yes. I wasted a lot more time than putting this together. I finally got the fucking site programmed and looking the way I wanted to. And here's what's key. It looks the same, or it looks good on mobile. That was the problem. I programmed it. It looked fine on a computer desktop, but when it went on mobile, it looked like shit. So if you all go to olderbrother.com, and in this particular case, if you all think that I am to be thanked, you could go to the /donate page, and you could throw a couple shekels to the Older Brother crew. And by crew, I mean me. Nobody else is going to get money.
You know what you could do, Chris, if you owe any of your success to Aaron's wisdom, is Aaron has an Amazon affiliate site, and you're going to be hitting the Amazon thing big. So click on Aaron's. You got to tell us how to find that link.
No, I just told you. No, seriously, everybody, you have no idea how long I worked on this stupid website. Everyone, you guys too, DT and
I'm
John.
looking at it right now. Yeah, you're flicking me off. Yeah.
Go to the website and check it out. It came out pretty darn good.
I got to check. Well, actually, you sent me the link. I think I briefly looked at it the other night, but I didn't have enough time to really check it out.
There's a donate. You could click on donate, and I got PayPal,
very Spartan,
Patreon, and Amazon affiliate all there. So if
Yeah, so if you guys, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything if you don't want to donate, but if you're going to be buying shit on Amazon, just do that. It doesn't cost you anything. You know?
I'll say it again. I don't know why Patreon exists when Amazon affiliate does, because you don't get anything out of Patreon. You don't. Right. Patreon gets 10%. PayPal's only 3.5%, and they still have a donate button that you can do. But Amazon, the only one that loses out on that is Amazon, but they're willingly paying that commission because you're driving traffic their direction. So if you can get into the good habit of going to, it doesn't have to be mine, but if you like to support somebody on the internet and you'd like to see them stick around, go to their Amazon affiliate program and buy. I always go, because I can't buy through my own affiliate program, so I always go to like Tom Likas or The Great One or whoever else is out there and throw them a couple shekels. But yeah, that's a great way to help people out. And last week when I did the free asshole consulting day, I knew it was going to take a couple days to see the results of that. Did I tell you guys about that or no?
No.
I didn't tell you about free asshole consulting day?
You mentioned
prime asshole. Yeah, prime asshole day.
Prime asshole day. Yeah, that's right. We're going to come up with
prime ass. Yeah.
Prime ass. So I looked at the sales figures. Do you know what happened?
Tell us.
Jack fuck all shit. Didn't work. I don't think.
That sucks. Well, maybe it hasn't posted yet. I don't know.
As DT would say, wah 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 wah. Right.
Well, I mean, but you got a lifetime blood oath out of them, though. So, I mean, it just means that they didn't go buy something right away. Right.
No, it's only been a week, but I thought there might be a little bit of a bump up, and there was, but not statistically significant. But we'll see. We'll see if it. We'll find out. I say 3 months. In 3 months' time, we'll figure out if that'll experiment.
That'd be fair. Yep.
Oh. Hey, Cynic in Chief is in the chat. He says, "Hello, geezers."
Hey, he has his own van paid off. Screw you guys.
That's right. Is he still doing the van thing?
No, I think he is settling down in the area that he likes. I don't want to give him away. And I think he's courting a girl. He's chasing after a little tail. And I think he has he's always working remotely, but I think he might have a more permanent thing. But he's seasonal. He does his adventures seasonally. And every once in a while he'll text me or something. Hey, I'm coming through town, so he'll stop in every once in a while.
Well, he has the greatest pickup line. It's you go up to a girl and you say, "Hey, want to see the inside of a van?" Here's
help me get this in my van. Can you help me? Help me get the couch in there.
Yeah. Silence of the Lambs on everybody.
Yeah.
Mega Mind Swifted says, "I'm 18, never dated in high school. Now all I need is some skills in electrical work and a job in the trades." Well, yeah. Go for that.
Yeah.
Or plumbing. Plumbing's a good trade too. People's toilets are always backing up, and they're always. I mean, we talk about water's a problem. Water's a huge problem for homeowners, and so plumbers always have work.
Guess what I dropped $5,100 on this weekend.
Shit, did you put? Oh,
you would tell me about it.
My water main went out. $5,100.
Holy shit.
And now, obviously, he didn't keep all that. He had to bring out his capital equipment and dig holes and this and that. Oh, yeah, we had, flooding, and we had to go to, you go down to the park bathroom, and then you got to hold it. And it's like when your electricity goes out, you don't realize how dependent you are on water. Yeah. But, yeah, that was –
So this is the line between between the street, basically, and your house that you're responsible for?
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. And so the old line had broken, and we had a little bit of water pressure, but then I heard it and it sounded like it was running. But the water meter's not going. I'm like, oh shit, it's leak, because this happened to another buddy's house where you could hear it. And if you don't deal with that can form like this. What do they call it?
A sinkhole, right?
A sinkhole, yeah. Your house can fall in, and this and that. I'm like, get the city out here and shut this down now. And then they
shut it off in the street real quick for you. And,
right. Yeah. So it wasn't leaking or anything like that. And then the guy, thankfully, and that's the other thing. You talk about plumbing; it's usually a crisis.
Oh yeah,
they want it done now. It has to get done. And so yeah, plumbers make some damn good money.
Yeah, they literally have a gun to your head. Plumbers. I mean, because it's true. You need it done. You can't be haggling over the price and getting 3 estimates and asking for references. It's like, motherfucker, fix this shit now.
Yeah. On the other hand, when I needed some sociology work done, I didn't pay that bitch for 6.5 years because, like, what the fuck? I didn't need it. I didn't need her study on the cross sectionality between black women and feminism and how it's white man's fault that happened. I didn't.
Hey, don't make fun of feng shui. Don't make fun of feng shui.
The creative writing doctorate I hired, I paid him his $1.25 for his 3,000-page manuscript like that. That was paid him lickety split.
She says, he goes, I bought a $300 bidet. Am I saying that right? It was a bidet, via Aaron Cleary's Amazon affiliate. Is that for your van? You bought it?
Wait, a bidet? Like the...
Yeah, how do you BIDET?
I think it's right. I think, yeah.
Is that the thing that cleans your ass after you?
Yeah, the French thing. Yeah, he bought it by your affiliate.
Did he actually do that? Really?
I don't know if it's a cynic in chief we're talking about here. I don't know.
It's a different kind of asshole consulting there.
Well, he says I'm the head developer for a local software company making 6 figures and bought a house for 5 figures.
Oh, okay. He did buy a house. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
You bought a house for 5 figures? What kind of house is that?
I think he lives in a part of the country that is not San Francisco.
Okay, yeah, yeah. You wouldn't get a parking space for 5 figures in or Seattle for that matter.
But you will get tetanus. Yeah, that you could get. You could get tetanus.
Yeah, you get a lot of these diseases that they thought had gone extinct are now back. I think a long time ago, Forney had a thing about that. How a lot of these places is. Oh, you heard about that? There was an Ebola scare in some place where they had to kind of shut down the hospital because somebody had been to the fucking Congo. And,
yeah, we've had with the Somalis coming here. We've had, I think, what was it, measles or smallpox or something. One of these obscure things that were presumably eradicated, and you get like a token amount of, it's in the schools or anything. But
oh yeah, that's right. The kids could, and then it gets and kids breed. Like one of the reasons I don't like kids is they're fucking germ factories.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the chat? Hold on. If you type in,
well, we don't have to do the chat now.
Okay, no, okay. I was just sometimes it's funny shit in there.
I usually wait for the chat for later. That's hey, you guys want to help out some advice?
Help out what?
Help out with some advice.
Sure.
Okay. I want to every once in a while I get an email that's worth reading, and I want to start making a regular contribution to helping out young men. Although we did do that a lot today, and women as well. I'm going to anonymize this. Because unfortunately, this is an asshole consulting client that didn't pay, but there's a instructional lesson here I want to pass on to young boys. Hi, Aaron. I'm in my mid-30s, highly educated, successful, self-employed professional working in a mathematical field, let's just say, and living in Paris. I'm contacting you for dating advice. All right, now, this guy's 35. He's contacting me for dating advice. All right. I was born in France and have a master's degree in mathematics from an Ivy League British university. He is East Indian ethnicity, 5'8", and in good shape. In my research into dating preferences for women, it suggests women of all races except black tend to prefer tall white males. This is more pronounced in white women. While I don't have a strong preference, I mainly run into white women more here in Paris. I used to work in a field, and due to the recession, decided to become self-employed, working on my own and using mathematical game theory strategies to invest my money in another interesting field. I am trying to keep them very anonymous, but this would be more of a hobby that he's using his math skills in. I have generally a very comfortable life. However, I have a lot of problems when it comes to dating. About 1.5 years ago, I became determined to enter into a relationship. So he just determines 1.5 years ago, he's just going to determine, like, I'm going to go down to Walmart and get myself some Diet Coke. He's going to get into a relationship. Like girls who are 32 decide, oh, okay, I've had my fun now. Now I'm going to get married next week and have 3.2 children. However, not just with any woman that would have me. I have a high self-esteem and pride and wanted a high-quality woman. I started researching PUA. I took comedy classes. I developed my own routines to seduce women, and twice a week would go out to 10 to 15 bars in central Paris, approaching sets of attractive women with my friend. We did this for 3 months. However, we attained 0 dates, some numbers, but no responses after sending out a text. I've been told that I am pleasant on the eyes, well-dressed, spoken, and confident. However, in hindsight, the majority, if not all the women we approached were white professionals, and it seemed like we were handicapped from the start. In that, no matter what we did, we would always be fed some BS about them having a boyfriend or married or rejected eventually in some way or another. That's where they just don't call you back. I started researching dating preferences, and my intuition tells me that my ethnicity and height and employment situation did not meet the required standard of these hypergamous women who either wanted a Chad or a more stable beta bucks. I did get some interest from white women who I met from social endeavors through friends and playing games. However, there were immediate red flags. One woman who I asked out about 3 years ago was approximately, I know this is long, but pay attention to the detail here.
A lot of detail.
A lot of detail.
I'm paying attention.
Because there's a question. There's going to be a quiz at the end of this. One woman who I asked out 3 years ago was approximately a 30-year-old European who worked at a casino. However, I was a low-limit customer at the time and didn't have close to my current financial security. She quickly shot me down. 2 years later, when I became a high-stakes customer and more successful, I post a picture of me invited to a prestigious casino event on Facebook along with designer presents I bought for my sister. The next day after I posted one of the pictures, this is one girl that he's talking about, this level of detail. The next day after I posted one of the pictures, she immediately follows up in a chat room I regularly attend, dressed in tight clothing and cleavage, showing with makeup, trying to get my attention. When I bump into her outside, she forcibly says hi to me and kisses me on the cheek. I inquire about her life, and immediately red flags started popping up. Precarious housing situation. She's working at that same casino. 33, 34. Standard thing about bad boys, Chads, beta bucks, nice guy cucks. I dismissed her advances. I noticed a few months later she moved back to her home country of birth and was dating a 40, 45-year-old. Almost done here, guys.
All right.
Another situation was in a dance class where I met a very attractive young white British lady. However, the first question she asked was, "Where do you live?" I live in a desirable part of Paris. I responded honestly and then asked her the same question. Her area was the opposite, a traditionally undesirable part of Paris, but undergoing slow gentrification due to unaffordable rents and prices in more desirable parts of Paris. There were red flags in this encounter also. Although she was attractive, given my poor background growing up, I could tell her clothing was purchased from very budget retailers. Secondly, when I asked her what her occupation was, she seemed to get very nervous. She seemed angry that I asked. I think this was another case of potentially financially unstable woman trying to get out of debt, blah, blah, blah. I've been watching MGTOW videos. I'm sanctifying it here. I've been put off finding a partner since it seems the only women I attract are those who want to secure a wallet. I'm sure you'll agree that I shouldn't date these kinds of women. But do you think I'm correct in my analysis as to why I was so heavily rejected and whether I should resign myself to being single, as I currently have a potentially used adult service providers for full my baser desires? All right. What?
Where's the question? How did he conclude? He's asking if you think he's right. That's the question.
His question in the request was, do I think it's a good strategy for him to give up?
Yeah, but he's asking you if he thinks, if you think that he's right in his reasons for giving up, that's the reason why he's having problems, is because it's all the women's fault.
Right, and that has nothing to do with the important lesson I have. I want you guys to draw a conclusion to, okay?
Okay.
All right. Why is he not getting girls?
I would say it's because he's in Paris, but I don't know.
No, I think, well, it seems like this guy, there's a lot of conflict going on. This guy has a lot of internal issues he needs to handle. I mean, just the fact that he spent so much detail talking about that one chick that he had a quad. I mean, she kissed him on the cheek or something like that. Sounds like he's kind of guy to get one-itis. It's hard to tell. He could be kind of socially awkward. There's a lot of different things. I mean, I'm kind of conflicted about giving this guy advice on how to meet white women because I'm against the whole miscegenation thing based on religious reasons.
Wait, he didn't pay, so we're not going to give him advice. I mean, he'll get advice if he's even listening. But there's an important thing here. I'll give you a hint. It's in his education and his profession.
I think I wrote down while you were writing, I wrote down Paris, and then I wrote down he researches too much.
Damn, right there. You hit it. You nailed it.
Awesome.
I keep getting these emails and these requests from young men who are disproportionately, though not always, disproportionately minorities. Some typically Asians, although we do get a couple of Hispanics and black men in there too. And they approach women as if it is a science. He has his degree in mathematics.
Yeah.
Both his hobbies and his profession, which I kept out, are highly mathematical and scientific, computer programming almost. And his solution was to go and approach these girls as if it was the quadratic equation. There's
no algorithm that you can come up to deal with this.
He took comedy classes and designed a bit.
Right.
He like there's an equation in that comedy routine that if you start out here and you end there, you get laid.
Right. And this is the point I want to point out to guys, because, once is once, twice is a coincidence, but 3, 4, now this is like the 12th time I've gotten this type of question, like, how do I meet girls? I programmed a crazy supercomputer and imported 16,000 variables, and I did X, Y, and Z, and it told me to hump a fire hydrant on a Tuesday at 3 p.m., and then girls would like me, but I humped the fire hydrant on a Tuesday at 3 p.m., and no girls liked me. And I want to get this to the boys out there listening, that women are not a fucking robot. They're not a fucking quadratic equation. They're not a computer. They're not a robot. They're not software. They are not meant to be solved.
Right.
And I get so sick and tired, because here's what's really happening. And I don't mean to hurt people's feelings, but I mean to hurt people's feelings. You guys who do this are lazy. You're taking a strength, which is fine. Nothing wrong with taking your strengths, mathematics, logic, reasoning, programming. And you're saying, I will find the magic formula. I'm going to find a love potion that's going to make the big-titted blonde girl from the higher echelons of Parisian society want to suck my dick. When there is no such thing. No such thing exists. You need to go and put hard work into it, namely the gym, and that's what's scaring off the vast majority of these boys. And these guys are constantly trying to sniff around for, what am I missing in my formula? What am I missing in my variable? And when you translate that into English, what that really says is, God almighty, I don't want to lift weights because that's painful. I don't want to go and get my ass shot down, although this guy did approach women. I don't want to take my lumps. So please, Aaron, please anybody, please somebody, tell me what the magic formula is. Or tweak my formula or my variables or my alchemy here so that it works. And this is where these PUA frauds, now some pickup artists are legitimate. There's some truth to some of that, especially if they tell you, look, it's a sales game and you're going to get your ass shot down and get used to it. But where they say, hey, it's Flippy Flips House McFlipperson, and here's how you get a dick to suck Flip's dick. And for $2,000, you can take my seminar at Los Angeles, and we're going to go out in field trials and all this other bullshit. And that's how they get you. And you guys actually believe, or not say, I don't even think deep down inside you guys believe that this formulaic bullshit and this robotic approach to women is going to work. You just want to buy the fake hope. Like women buy the fake, I got nice hip showing jeans. I wear black because I'm a fat sow and black makes a woman look thinner. It's because you don't want to go to the fucking gym. Or I love, tell me if you guys have seen this. John, DT, explain to me why the world's fattest black women will spend thousands of dollars on the most polished up, colorful nails and weaves. Instead of go to the fucking gym and eat less ho-hos.
Oh.
And that's what it is. That's what you nerds are doing. You're the black woman putting on the big nasty nails and the weave with your butt sticking out so much you could land a fucking Boeing 747 on it with plenty of room to spare. Could just roll to a stop. Don't even have to hit the brakes. That's how wide her ass is. And she's thinking that her weave and her nails are going to go get her some upstanding young black gentleman. It's the same thing where you guys think that women are finite creatures, not creatures. You think they are programs and formulas that can just be manipulated or controlled. And I don't mean that in a domineering way, but like they can be figured out and commanded. And you could see it. You could see it in his background, mathematics. All these guys come from a computer or math or STEM or engineering background.
He's at the casino. He's at the casino playing probabilities. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Statistics. There's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy gambling.
Yeah, right. But you're getting at his kind of his mindset that there's. And when I was young, I thought there were certain rules. I mean, this is the whole red pill thing, right? That society tells you there are certain rules, and you obey those rules or you institute those rules, and it's supposed to result in, girls liking you, whatever. And you find out that doesn't work. And you start to wonder, well, what does work? And part of the problem with PUA is that it does work sometimes, right? But
but not to 100%.
But the mindset, but the mindset of it being 100% that. I mean, I think there are tricks, there are little shortcuts, there are things like that work. But if you're trying to have an actual relationship, I don't think it's healthy to be using PUA. I mean, as tricks or as kind of like, I mean, understanding it's one thing, but to having that be the basis of finding someone, I don't think that's. The other thing I thought when I was just listening to the story is that he just is thinking about it too much. It's supposed to be fun, right?
Another thing I just want to touch on for those listening, not just this guy because he didn't pay, but anyone who's listening to this is in somewhat of a similar situation. Stay away from MGTOW videos. MGTOW is for people who got married and got divorced, raped, and they can't see their kids. All right, if that's happened to you, go watch MGTOW. But if you're some guy that's just having trouble, with women, don't go to MGTOW. It's just going to suck the life force right out of you.
Right. It's very corrupting. Yeah.
And here's the other thing. It's like there's a artistic aspect, a human element, a luck element. I mean, if anything, it's closer to Texas Hold'em poker where, okay, there is some strategies and rules that you should follow, be in shape, zip up your pants, wear deodorant. I mean, there's some rules and they do help your statistics and your chances, but then a lot of it is luck or the actual artistic aspect, the human aspect, which should be the fun aspect of chasing after girls. You got to figure out all you got to do. I mean, I hate to make a rule so simple. If you can get them to laugh, that's it. Now, so I can see his line of reasoning going with the comedy routine, but if you go to comedy, you got to be funny. You can't have a routine and a stand-up.
Instead of, I would say take improv. That would help because that's just, it's not like a beginning to an end script. So if it sounds like he's willing to try different stuff. So I'd say take improv because that is,
what crossed my mind? Do you guys remember that show, Last Comic Standing?
I remember I wasn't a regular watcher of it, but I saw it.
There was a contestant on it. And when I was listening to the guy's story, it reminded me of this contestant. His name was Dat Fan, I think. And he was so analytical in how he constructed his comedy bit. He would record it and then see how long people would laugh for each joke. And he had it like all mathematically laid out on how to construct the best comedy bit he could. So it was all like research oriented. It wasn't him being kind of naturally funny. He was creating a program to get the audience to react such that he could win this competition. And then some of the people that lost became much better comedians, much more successful because they were actually funny, where this guy was kind of like a one-trick pony, was like a one-hit wonder, where he figured out kind of the magic equation for this show. And he showed his notebooks with all these graphs and things like that. Oh, here's this joke, and this has got this amount of laughter, and so I can fill up, my 5-minute bit with this many jokes with this much laughter on average. And and that's what when this guy was saying his story in that letter, it reminded me exactly of Dat Fan. And you ask any comedian back then what they thought of Dat Fan, and they hated him. They hated him because he was a fraud, and he just figured out tricks. He figured out kind of little tricks that he could play to win this competition.
So, basically, the guy who has Asperger's went into comedy.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and you'd have to keep this routine up. You'd have to come up with a script every day to make your girlfriend laugh. And then you're simply not being yourself. You have to be naturally fun. DT, when I hang out, do I make clever little jokes and quips here and there?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because I'm funny. I didn't study it. I just practiced at it, hung out with people, sometimes of the opposite sex, which may be rare for some of these, programming nerds. But it's just going out and socializing and being human. And above all else, just being yourself. And I don't mean that in a just be yourself. Yes and no. But if you get success with this girl by being someone else, now you got to keep up the facade. Now you got to act this entire time. Whereas if you're yourself, you'll attract whoever you attract. It's a hell of a lot easier doing it that way than like, well, okay, I went online and I found out that white women over in Paris at between 7 and 8 p.m., they like men who are 6'2" to 6'3". But then when the drinks kicked in, they would lower their requirements to 6'1" to 6'2", assuming you drove an import vehicle. Now, it's like, fuck, how do you wake up and take a shit in the morning then, man?
Well, you need to take a shit at precisely 7:52.
After you're done humping the fire hydrant on Thursday at 3:30.
So guys, life is not an equation, guys. But just to kind of basically address it, there really is no getting advice from women. I mean, look, just there's nothing I can say because everybody's personality is different. So what works, a certain behavior, don't be something you're not, because like you said, you're gonna have to spend your whole life or your whole time you're with this person pretending to be somebody else. Improve yourself. A lot of that basic shit that Aaron was talking about, a lot of guys don't do it. I mean, you could have the greatest pickup line in the world, but I mean, if you don't fucking bathe and can't dress yourself, well, nothing's gonna happen.
I just say not worry about it so much. I mean, I'm not one to give advice. I'm not one at all on this kind of stuff. Not at all to give advice. But I mean, you think back of when you were younger, what you wish you would have done, right? As an older brother, a lot of times it's well, if I knew what I knew today and could go back, man, I'd slay the ladies, right? And it's mainly just it's confidence, it's having fun, it's just enjoying life, really. I mean, why worry about it so much? I understand, I've said this before on the podcast, sex is always on your mind when you're young. It's like it's just constantly there. And when you get older, it's not constantly there anymore, and you're actually able to relax and just be yourself, and you have more success then. So there is this, there is that driving need that can drive you crazy, and you just got to kind of recognize that that's what it is and not worry about it so much. Not get on this it's almost like a feeling of desperation that you just, I got to find somebody. No, you don't. You just have to take care of yourself, improve yourself, become a better person. And they're just going to, they're going to come to you. You're not going to have to do anything.
Yeah. Well, the one bit of actually real practical advice I'd give this guy is pretty much what Aaron said. Go to the fucking gym for 3 months. Don't even try to pick up chicks. Just do your job. And then just notice, like, after 3 months of working out regularly, like, for real. I mean, I don't mean just spend time in it. I mean, actually work out, lift iron. And then you're going to notice that everyone just treats you different. So that's real, actual practical advice. Go to the fucking gym.
Your whole posture changes. I've been working out for, 5-7 years now or something like that. And I used to have the engineer's hunch, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You did. The engineer's hunch. And when you work out, if you're doing it right, it pulls your skeleton in completely different directions, and you have a completely different posture. You walk different, you carry yourself different, and people notice.
I will add this. You guys want to do a fun little, let's all do this, all right? DT, Lloyd Cheney, right? He runs, what is he? He's in the Republican Party.
I've never met him personally.
Never met him. If you're interested, I'll show you the secret weapon to slaying women's hearts. Type in Lloyd Cheney and Leroy, and then do an image search on Google, and it's the first picture.
Hold on a second.
Do that. Everyone go ahead and do
I know what you're talking about, so
Lloyd's going to be like, why the hell's traffic going? What the hell's going on? You see him, John?
No, hold on a second. I had to switch pages here. How you spelling Cheney? Cheney? Yep. And then Leroy. And then Leroy. Okay.
Now image search.
Hopefully, no weird pictures of Dick.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Cheney
Was some sick shit gonna come up in my?
No.
Dick Cheney and some guy named Leroy.
Well, I'm getting a whole. Well, there's the first picture that showed up is a fat guy with a pug dog.
That's it. Click on that. Click on the dog.
Okay.
That's Leroy. If you want to get girls, at least to get in to meet them, you need a cute dog or a little child. Because I have walked Leroy, and I have also hung out with my little nieces. And all of a sudden, all the girls that wanted nothing to do with me when I was 23 are throwing themselves at me at the park now. I have no idea what it is, but guys, trust you me, if you got a little niece or a little nephew, or just go grab some random kid, guys, 1.5-year-old, just grab them. You get a dog or somebody, dog sit. Holy shit, TJ with Reese, TJ Martinelli goes hiking with Reese. Don't even try one-liners. Don't even try approaching women. There's ways to do it, but I cannot believe hanging out with my nieces and walking that damn dog one time. How many all of a sudden the cute girls showed up. Like they were all hiding. It's like, no, let's be fat, frumpy, dumpy Minnesota women. Let's honor our state, Minnesota State Fair cheese curd horking lineage. All of a sudden the hot skinny chick showed up because I had a cute dog or cute little kids with me.
Well, actually, I did dog sit a 5-month-old lab, and there's this beautiful place in Seattle called Green Lake. It's where everybody goes to, jog or walk their dog in the summer anyway. And this was years ago, and Jesus Christ, you are right. Everybody came up. I'm like, oh, can I say hi to the dog? Yeah, I mean, the chicks were all over it.
Yeah.
So that is good, but, labs are a lot of work. So I don't know about it. Someone asked in the chat, will a cat work? No, a cat won't work.
Cat won't fucking work, cat. Women don't like themselves.
They want something they don't have. Can you walk a cat? You can't put a leash around a cat's neck.
You can try.
Has anybody ever walked a cat?
But will a cat work? That's pretty funny, actually. The guy says, I don't have dogs or kids. All right, well, here's a solution to that one. Well, Aaron doesn't have dogs or kids. He uses his nieces and nephews. As far as dogs go, what you can do is the rescue dog thing. You can take a rescue dog, and they do have like a window where you can bring it back, because you could say the dog, so you could just go to the place, take a rescue dog out for the day, nice sunny day on the weekend, and just walk the rescue dog, and then bring the poor schmuck back, and he gets put on the death list again.
Right? Why didn't you like Rover? He didn't give me enough pussy. Okay, we better kill him now. Yeah.
So and who knows? Maybe the dog will get you laid, and you'll keep him, and you'll save a dog's life. So that could be a twofer there.
That would be a good, honest answer, actually, if you find a place that, like the Pound or whatever, and well, who is this dog? And you're like, well, I just like dogs so much, I want to take them on walks, when they're at the Pound. They're not mine. I love dogs so much that I'll just take dogs out for walks.
Yeah, I think some chicks are gonna be all like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Yeah. That'll work.
You know what? That would make a great movie. It's like there's this seedy, horny bachelor like John in Seattle. He's just all dirty, and he has the New York accent too. I need to get fucking laid. Jesus Christ, those fucking women suck. Wait a minute, I know how about it. You see an ad at the coffee store, and then you go down and look at it. Then you walk the dog. And you're walking the dog back, and this dog didn't get me laid at that one. Then also you kind of start liking the dog, and then the next day you go back and get the dog again. Well, we better try. And then slowly a man and his best friend relationship forms, and you keep the dog, and he doesn't go to the impound lot or the dog.
Yeah. Someone said the Hallmark Channel. That's a Hallmark Channel movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. But that way you can really do that. I mean, if you do the dog thing, it don't get to cost you any money. I think they even will give you a few bucks for food for the dog if you keep it for a week at these places, because they don't want to put the dogs down.
Isn't there a whole dog walking internet site now or something where I've seen commercials for it where
singles and the dog thing, single people.
But they hire people to walk their dogs. They're like dog nannies or whatever. You could actually make money and walk dogs.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be a dog. You want to be a dog walker and spend your days cleaning up shit. I don't know about that, but I mean, if it was just walking one dog, you could borrow.
Yeah, occasional thing. Yeah, I think it's like
just grab one.
It's like that website where it's you can hire a handyman for an odd job or whatever. I think there's a website where there's dog walkers. Basically like
how lazy is it that people won't walk their own fucking dog?
Exactly.
Most people won't raise their own damn kids. They just ship them to daycare. What do you? Hang on.
Why do you have a dog? I mean, that's part of the bonding of the dog is when you take it outside to go for a walk. That's the point of having the dog. I mean, when he's in the house, you're both kind of doing your own thing. I mean, all it is to take the dog out, play fetch, take it to we have a nice dog park here. You can let it off the leash, and you have a good time and all that stuff. We got someone in the chat, Jim Johnson, brah, keeps talking about Matt Forney.
What about Matt Forney?
He's got a big hard on for Matt Forney. Yeah.
Has he seen Matt Forney?
Matt Forney is alpha as fuck. Where the fuck is Forney?
Probably Matt.
Maybe, yeah.
I tune into Matt's shows quite regularly. Sometimes he's like batting about 85%. He's got a pretty good podcast, and then every once in a while he has a bad one, but so does everybody. I always plug his new site, that Terror House magazine.
Yeah, that's good. That's got some good stuff on that. Guys who like to read, that's a great site. Now
he wants to know where Matt Forney is. He's in Hungary.
Budapest, yeah.
Yeah, that's where Matt Forney is. All right, here we go, guys. Weekend Science, the 5 best dogs for attracting women.
I know what the best dog is. Absolutely, is a lab.
Hang on, what we got? Where's the list? Oh, they make you go. All right, here we go. Don't have friends. Here are the top 5 list. If you don't have a friend with one of these dogs, you probably own a cat and deserve to be alone. 1, German Shepherd. 2, Golden Retriever. 3, Labrador Retriever. 4, Siberian Husky. 5, French Bulldog. I don't know how scientific that is.
I don't know. The French Bulldog, I don't think so. But I like Shepherds, though. The only problem with German Shepherds is their personality, their temperament, they're extremely territorial. They don't like strangers just petting them. They got to know you. They'll nip at somebody. So that might not be the best.
You almost just need a puppy or a small dog, I'd have to say.
Yeah, like if you I had a 5-month-old lab, and this was like it was like a magnet for women. It was unbelievable. They're high energy dogs, though, man. So you got to be in shape. I was in my 20s when I did this.
So this list, where did you find this list?
I just searched best dogs to meet chicks, and then I got all these websites and articles about dogs that will eat chicks. In case you're raising chickens and you don't want them, I'm like, no, women. And then, so it's not scientific. I just think any dog would be a good prop. Any little kid's going to be a good prop. It's.
Well, Jonathan Flores says a cat will work if she's a cat person. No, it won't work because the cats are like women. They're craving the masculine. So no.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Yeah, stay away from cats, guys. That's a good rule in life. And if a chick has more than one cat, that should be a red flag. That should be on the Cleary test. Chicks with more than one cat.
It is on the Cleary test. The relationship test. It is. No, it's not even not more than one cat. It's cat. Period. You got a cat, you're out.
Okay. Well, that's narrow because a lot of women they get the fucking cats.
Well, but this is I even said I think there's like the overall and the core. And the core is 10 questions. Overall is 19. I want to get one more in there just to round it off. But the core, very few women score above like 60% on the core. It's just, this is like the dream world. It's not going to happen. It's like women looking for 6-inch cock, 6 figures, 6-pack, and 6 feet tall. It's not going to happen.
I think cats are okay if you live on a farm.
My cock is well over 6 inches, for fuck's sake. That's all they want? Jesus. You mean 6 inches thick, I guess, around, right?
Yeah, you and those Washington Sequoia redwoods up there. Sometimes you can't tell what the difference is.
Hold on. Here's Jim John says, I guess it's a serious question. Can you ask Clary how much you need to retire by 40?
Read your book, right, Clary?
Well,
actually, that question is loaded because it depends how you want to live.
Right. Look, there's a great site, and you can change the variables. Bankrate.com. Type in bankrate.com and retirement calculator, and you can plug in the figures like when you want to retire, how long until you're dead, your expected rate of growth on your investments, and it'll give you a number. You could toy with the figures. I'll give you a way more accurate answer than what I could give off the top of my head, because I'd have to know, like, where you're going to live, how much do you spend.
Yeah, do you want to spend, like, you want to be golfing 5 days a week with, $250 green fees? Well, it's going to be a lot more. So those are, there's so much that goes into that. So you'd have to do your own math. But yeah, there's tons of little apps out there on websites you can figure.
Otherwise, read. I got my book, Poor Richard's Retirement. Yeah. That'll go through it in detail and go through the psychology of adequately preparing for retirement. But then there's also Early Retirement Extreme. He did some mathematical numbers as well. I mean, and nobody's numbers come out to be the exact same, of course. But if you're looking for a different mathematical approach, you can get his book as well.
Yeah, I would say that you want, it's more than you think, because the idea is to try and live off the interest income and the dividends. Mm-hmm. And then you got to understand, guys, you're going to be paying taxes on that money. So, because you don't want to be touching the principal until you get older. So if you're 40, you're looking at, probably another 40 years of life,
easy.
If not
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So that's a long time, and there's a lot of curveballs life can throw at you. And chances are you're going to come up with some illness in 40, something bad's going to happen to you.
Right. Chris would be retired by that time. Good old Florida Chris with his fucking house paid off and his 6 figures and his hot wife who models over at Fredericks of Hollywood. He's probably already retired. He probably retired in the 45 minutes we've been talking about him.
He retired by 25.
Right.
He's 24 now. He retired at 25. That's a hell of a thing. We got to have that. Actually, he said he has a YouTube channel. He didn't say what the name of the channel was, but I'd watch your channel. I'm impressed.
What else we got in the chat room there?
Women like 9 inches, not 6.
Well, they like 10, not 9, of course. Right. Okay.
Hold on a second. Cabby could tell us the story of that chick who wasn't so hot until she got all dolled up for a New Year's Eve party.
Oh, well, I told you guys that. You guys know that story, don't you?
I don't think I know that one.
All right.
Is it worth telling again or not? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's just I had broken up with the worst woman I ever dated in my life. And this was a little bit before the New Year's Eve 2000 celebration. So we're going into the new millennium. This was the New Year's Eve party to have. And I was like perfectly fine not dating, but I had an invite to this formal event at this mansion out in West Bloomington where I actually learned tango one time. So I was playing volleyball and there was this gal and she was a gym teacher, and you could picture in your mind what it would look like and you wouldn't be too far off. And she had short-cut blonde hair, and she never wore makeup. We always played volleyball. Nice gal and all that, and really liked her rapport and enjoyed her company. And this date was coming up, and I had an extra ticket. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of taking a hot, good-looking chick that doesn't deserve it, I'm going to take this kind of plain Jane gal, and because I enjoy her company. She's fun. I said, hey, you want to go to this formal thing? And she said, oh, yeah, let's do that. And she was taller than me. And I think we both, there was no attraction. It was just like, we're really cool. It'd be cool. Yeah, let's go. So I had my tuxedo. So I got all cleaned up and she got all cleaned up. And when I answered the door, I'm like, holy shit, you look like a woman. And she looked good. And then
you look like a woman.
No, she did. I think she might have said the same thing about me because I'm sweaty and got sand on you and dirt and playing volleyball. And all of a sudden here I am in a tuxedo. And we had this great night, and then we ended up dating a little bit, and everything was going great. Everything was going well. I'm thinking like, yeah, I even remember I'm lying there in her bed, and it's a wonderful, wonderful situation. And then you could just hear it in her voice. She says, "Hey, Aaron." I'm like, fuck, no, what? No, it's so good. Why are you gonna ruin this? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you really don't want to have kids, do you? I'm like, no. Well, I want to have to interrupt her. I said, look, are you having fun? She's like, yeah. Do you like me? She's like, yeah. I like you, right? She's like, yeah. And we play volleyball. We go out and we ride the convertible and we're doing great. It just, and everything's good now. It's good, right? She's like, I really want to have kids. So, this can't go on. I'm just like, oh, shit. Always has to happen.
Was she good in the sack?
Yeah. She was.
Well, I think she was a gym teacher, so she probably, she was a hard body. So,
she was more. I wouldn't say like a professional athlete, but certainly in shape. Yeah. I mean, it was. No, it was the classical whatever tomboy late bloomer type of story,
right.
and then let's fuck it all up with the other shoe dropping right on Clary's head with the. So, and what's sad, I don't even remember her name. I got pictures, but I don't even remember her name. And so, and I think last I heard, she got married. She spat out 4 kids. She's out of shape. That's kind of like, well, okay, maybe I dodged a bullet there, but
well, she knew what she wanted, right?
Yeah, no, this was not a bad breakup at all. It was good. And if I ever see her again, if I could recognize her, which has happened to me twice now, where girls have said, "Hey, Aaron," I'm like, "Hey,
hey, you,
who are you? Don't you remember? Were you a dance student of mine? No. Economics student? No. Fan of my blog or YouTube channel? No. We dated for like 3 months." I'm like, "We did?" When? 1998? Well, okay, lady, come on. Well, I don't
remember the 90s too well. That's kind of a gray, blocked a lot of that out from partying too hard.
Well, and God bless me. I'm going to pat myself on the back. At least I still look like I did when I was 23 or 24. I still fit into a suit that I bought when I was 19.
Oh, that's impressive.
I got a more fully grown beard, but I still have a full set of hair. And aside from some peppered gray, I still look the same. I keep myself in shape so that people 20 odd years later can say, "Hey, Aaron, you and I dated 27 years ago." And when I look at you and like nothing, like a complete blank, like your voice doesn't sound familiar. Your eyes don't look familiar. You're too fat now for me to even consider. Like you've changed that much. You've let your body go to that much shit. And to the point I have not an inkling as to who the hell you are. What's really scary is when they're like, "Yeah, we went here, we went there." And you're still like, "I don't remember any of this." But you bought me this little, what was it? A duck, not a toy, not a rubber ducky, a little, the fair thing, a little
stuffed
doll
animal.
Duck. Yeah, stuffed animal. Thank you, stuffed animal. I'm thinking, I know what a stuffed animal duck would look like, but that's not the one that I probably bought this gal. So, so what else we got in the chat?
Well, this Aaron Torres says, he goes, "Local bitches don't like me because I don't wear brand clothing, and frankly, I'm too lazy to play head games."
How old are these women?
Say again?
How old are these women? What girls care about brand name clothes? Really?
Yeah, I think Aaron, if you're having, women don't give a shit about your brand name clothing. I'm guessing that's not the real reason. No offense, brother, but I'd say there's more going on there than that. And as far as like head games go, that's just female nature. I mean, you don't have to. They like guys who tell them to shut the fuck up. Never give a girl a straight answer unless it's no.
That's pretty good.
That's a good rule to live by.
I don't think I've played head games since that gal I dumped before the New Year's Eve. That was the last girl that I tolerated head games with, and that was when I was 22 or 23. And I was like, "That's it. Nope." 21 years and no head games. 21 years head game free.
That's impressive.
You just don't tolerate it.
You don't tolerate it. And all girls, I don't want to say all, because there are exceptions out there. There are unicorns, believe it or not, but don't go searching for one. Most girls, they're all going to come with some drama and some baggage, and especially if you're dating chicks in their 30s or older. I mean, you figure, I mean, by the time the average girl is 32, if she's never been married, I mean, how many dicks have been inside her, I mean, not to be vulgar, but, just think about it.
I remember we were in our younger 30s by this time. I hung out with a group of guys over in St. Paul. It was great. They had like this frat house, and we'd all go play video games and get drunk and play poker. It was wonderful. It was just wonderful. And one of our buddies had broken up with his longtime girlfriend, and he was like 30 or 31, and he started dating this 23-year-old. And he was wise enough that she pulled off her mind game or little antics and bullshit once, and right in front of everybody says, "That shit didn't work back then, and the sure the fuck ain't going to work now. get your ass back home. I'll see you if I call you or not. I mean, like, or I'll call you maybe or not. And she just was like, and then she was bowing down to him. And I hate to think of something like the shit test, like it's so precise and it's so scientific, but man,
true, though. It's definitely true.
It's true. I mean, and a lot of times you got to metaphorically slap these bitches down and say, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of my face, and I'll contemplate whether I want to deal with your stupid ass later.
Yeah, but you can't reason with that. You can't rationalize with that. You just you do with the shit test. You just got to shut it down. That's true.
And even if it's just a hint, because they'll try and like there's another gallery member, she's just in a bad mood, and I'm like, "You all right?" She's like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "Yeah, that didn't sound fine." And so I said, "Okay, let's get going." Hopped up, dropped her right back off at her place, and headed home. Never saw her again. It's just not. Yeah, the mind you don't tolerate mind games. If girls are saying it's your fashion, that's either they're lying to spare your feelings because you're an ugly fuck, or you're fucking up, or you stink, or something. I don't know. There's something more, or it's you trying to say, oh yeah, well it's because I don't have fancy clothes. No, it's something else. It's not because you didn't have fancy clothes. I've never had a girl say no, you don't wear fancy enough clothes.
Yeah, I've never heard that as women don't. I mean, women want you to be presentable. Yeah, they do check things out. Like the women will check out your shoes to make sure if your socks don't match, chicks are going to notice things like that. So, which is some very basic things you guys got to do. But other than that, once you got the basics covered, it's kind of sad how many guys don't nowadays. I guess because they're people are so much of their life is online that they're not interacting as much. So a lot of these basic social things they don't know, like
Gen Zers are going to walk out in mass without pants their first day of kindergarten because they didn't know to not wear it because everything was from the chest up.
Yeah, so I'm guessing a lot of the younger guys, and that's what the show is about, though. I mean, we shouldn't be slamming on these guys. I mean, the younger guys, that's the point of the show, is to try and help or young women, trying to help them out. So, there's a lot of basic things like that maybe these younger guys that we take for granted. That they never really quite got down. So
they're not wearing deodorant, or
he's followed up with a couple comments here, and I think he does make a good point that some girls do look at clothes just to see, for the whole. Here, I don't see the need for head games. Just be plain direct and say what you want. I agree with that. I mean, just be you. Just be honest. Yeah. Straightforward. Maybe not honest, but straightforward. Direct. Direct is the right word. Yeah.
Yeah, and LA is they use the colloquial, so you'll have all these guys.
Oh, darn it, John.
They'll have them. No, wait, set it in context. I wasn't calling someone.
The Google algorithms don't give a shit.
Okay. Sorry about that.
This is the PG-13 show. This is the PG-13 battleship.
PG-13. But the places like LA, you'll have all these people who are, driving a BMW convertible and, wearing all these expensive clothes and eating at fine restaurants, but their credit cards are maxed out. They have no equity. It's all just style over substance. So, maybe in certain LA circles, people care about that kind of stuff, but everybody is a poser there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to attract chicks that's how they're judging you anyway. What would you want?
Can't keep it up.
You are doing me a favor by not wanting to be with me if that's what you care about. So,
all right, John, what else we got in the chat room?
Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, I should have said Hoodrich is also acceptable instead of
Hoodrich is fine.
Let's see, the women at my martial arts gym and CrossFit gym are always sucking up and flirting with the instructors, the coaches, or advanced students. Most of these people have all.
That's the same guy. That's the same guy.
That's Aaron. Yeah. Okay, that's Aaron Torres. Well, one guy was asking about pizza delivery for a part-time gig.
Awesome.
I mean, if it's you can make some cash out of it, you have to do the math on it, but yeah.
I'm for it. I mean, it depends. I mean, I've thought about delivering pizzas during the daytime for something to do. I can't. What you get to listen to talk radio, or you get to listen to your podcast or whatever you want, and you deliver pizzas. You get to drive around, beat shoveling shit or doing landscaping or putting in tile.
Yeah, it's not. So, one thing I will say: avoid. Don't do the Uber Lyft ride thing. There was a video on that where you're getting paid literally less than minimum wage if you factor in gas and the wear and tear on your vehicle. Right. That's a scam. Don't do that.
You can deliver sandwiches now too, right? Like Jimmy John's, and there's all kinds of delivery services now. I think you can probably deliver groceries.
You're a guy looking to make because you got a lot of energy when you're younger. You probably got a lot of free time. You don't have a lot of other commitments. Yeah, pick up a second job and just stop, put away the cash, man. Put away the cash. Don't be spending on fucking brand name clothing for Christ's sake.
Walk dogs.
Yeah, walk dog. Yeah, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I'm picking up poop of dogs that aren't mine.
We know. There's a joke. Okay, what else is in the chat room?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than people just going back and forth about what we've been talking about. No one seems to have anything really, really specific questions.
Cool. No, that's all right. I just want to see what's going on. So we'll probably wrap it up here so we can all enjoy a
I do want to plug something. By the way, tomorrow I'm scheduled to do a telethon to raise money for Ann Sterzinger's breast implants. It's called. I'm serious. It's a telethon. It will be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, and what is that? 5 p.m. Eastern.
Email that to me. Totally email that to me. I'll plug the hell out of that.
You're gonna have a little numbers board or the
it's Boobs for Ann. I have to. If Clary has time after the podcast, I have an OBS question for him to set that up, and so we're going to be taking donations. The average price of a breast implant, and you guys are going to get to decide, like, should you go with a B plus, a C, a D, double D. I think her frame might
on that frame. C, maybe.
To see, I think because she's tall though, isn't she? Kind of tall. You met her in person.
Nah, she's about my height, maybe a little shorter. But look, if you're gonna get a boob job, what the hell's the point of getting B's? But if you're a small frame with Ann, you don't want to look like you're about to fall over at any second if the wind blows a little bit. So D's out of the question. She's gonna have to go C's.
Right now she's like negative A. So
negative double Z's. I mean, it's like two black holes sitting there on her chest.
Right. Yeah, obviously she is from the Great Plains. And wait, I love how John is ignoring my question. I'm sorry, buddy. What question did you ask? Could you type it again? I missed it in the chat.
Let's see if I can find it.
All right, well, shoot out that information about Ann's. You're doing a live stream on your channel tomorrow, you said?
Yeah, tomorrow. Boobs for Ann. I got it. The reason I haven't set up the thing now is because I'm using the OBS thing, and I'm not totally have it all down, but I'll set it up.
Yeah, you and I got to work on figuring out how to get people on that. We got to enlist Beckloff. He's able to do it, but he's talking about like he's got to use Skype and Discord. I'm like, how much fucking shit do I got to learn?
I don't want to load a Discord server, but there is a way to tweak it to where I be able to show the pictures. We can. I mean, by the way, guys, this is going to be PG-13. You're not going to see Ann naked, okay? So if that's why you're interested, no, it's not. This is to raise money for her breast implants, and I mean, you'll see her with her shirt on and everything, but You're
going to have somebody in the background that's pretending to be on the phone, like for the real telethons. Just one of your friends.
Play that in the back.
That would be really funny.
But like a loop of have famous people answering the phones, like at 9/11 when they were raising the money. They had like Jack Nicholson there. So that's a good idea. So anyway, Boobs for Ann. Get it trending. # boobs, the number 4 Ann, ANN.
Okay,
boobs
and then have you done any other recent interviews recently on your channel?
I had Cleary on last night. Not Cleary. I had Davis on last night.
Okay, cool.
Just kind of bullshitting. But because the big guy I was going to have on, he's gone dark. He's ghosted me again. So,
well, who is it?
David Cole.
David, is that the guy you had on before?
Yeah, but he's willing to do a Q&A. He's never done that before. People all around the world would want to. That was a great interview. I know exactly where I was hiking listening to that interview because it was so good. I know nothing. I don't know who he is. I still technically don't know who he is today. But back then I was just like, oh, this is a very well-spoken individual. I enjoyed your conversation you had very much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was really looking for, and it took a long time to get him to do that. And he didn't know me then. And he actually, it's funny you said that, after the interview was over, and he's been interviewed a lot by everybody. I mean, like, Gavin McInnes, and he was on He was on one of those like Nightline type shows and everything. He said that this is one of the best interviews that he's ever had, and he stayed on longer. He only promised me an hour, and I think we went an hour 40, and then we talked for another 20 minutes afterwards.
Yeah,
so
it was a good. Yeah, go plug your website while we're here.
Oh, John Steele Show and put it in the YouTube search. John Steele, just John Steele Show in YouTube, and it'll come up. But that interview is, by the way, just recently. It's behind the wall there. You can't see it in a lot of the. You can't view it in Canada, Europe. Like even Forney couldn't view it unless Yeah, because David Cole is concerned. And if you heard the interview, it was totally PG.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what would it be possibly banned about?
Because David Cole was labeled a Holocaust denier, which he is not a denier. And you can read his book. We can go into it on the show. He is not a denier. Okay, he just raised some questions about the Holocaust because he's a revisionist historian. But there's a lot of groups out there that have a lot of power that hate David Cole. This guy had a fucking death threat put out on him. He got the shit kicked out of him twice.
I do remember that. Yeah.
He used the term globalist, right? Is that
maybe that was it? Yeah. But anyway.
Okay. So the chat room's all cleaned up. We're good with the chat room.
The guy said, John says he's against miscegenation. This is the question. John says he's against miscegenation. So how should this guy meet people of his own race if there are none, I guess where he is saying.
Wait, you lost me. He's against what?
Miscegenation. I'm personally against miscegenation. It means
what is miscegenation?
Miscegenation, the mixing of the races.
Oh, the mixing of the races. He doesn't want to date.
No. I'm against miscegenation.
Oh, you are.
So he was saying how that's my own personal thing. I mean, look, if this guy wants to engage in it, fine. But I guess that was why I said I was conflicted about giving this guy advice to meet white women because I think that people should kind of play in their own ballpark.
He's not white.
The guy from Paris, he's Indian.
The Paris guy, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's every Asian immigrant coming over. The East Indians and the Eastern Asians. That's what they see on TV, and they all want the big blonde or the big boob blonde, and then they come here. It's like, what would cure them of that?
What?
If they actually dated and got what they wanted, be like, holy shit, fuck this. I'm going to go. Look, to all the
Arrange
Asians,
my marriage, please. Arrange it.
To all of you immigrant Asians, whether you're from the subcontinent or East Asia or even the Middle East, don't you think it's odd that a lot of the American men are like going to your country to get your women?
Right.
Don't you think that's kind of like, it's like we're escaping and you want to come here? It's kind of like, okay, you knock yourself out. I got a Latino buddy. He's like, man, I just love the blondes and I just like white girls. I'm like, hey, have you dated any? He's like, no, but I like, okay, one, you haven't even dated them, so your game's pretty bad. I'm like, you can have them. Go ahead and have them. Because in California, and he sees all these hot chicks on the beach. I'm like, you go chase after those LA 9s and 10s all you want. You'll find out your cute little Latina,
there's some hot looking Latinas in LA and Miami, man. You look. I mean, there's some good. If you're into, if I was a Latin dude, I wouldn't have any interest in the white women because there's some freaking hot Latinas, man.
There's some good looking Latinas out there. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, by all means, you date whoever you want. You'll find out. And I just say, where are the older guys going? I would ask, where are the older guys going? That's what I'd be asking. So. Okay, so the chat room's all cleaned up. Let's go through some overhead boring stuff. All right, the Older Brother website is up. You guys could check it out. It's pretty straightforward. There is a podcast page where you have the podcast. You can access it directly on the site, the RSS feed, the YouTube channel, and then also there is an MP3 archive because I know I personally like to just download it directly from MP3. So you go to a podcast, click on the MP3 archive, you'll find it there. It's not on one of the main menu lists on the main page. Also, for those of you that would be kind enough, especially you, John and DT, if you guys could take a look at the resources page, which is not complete yet. I just threw a couple things up there so I could test the graphics and everything. I want to get a compilation of the best books, best YouTube channels, best websites, et cetera, et cetera. So if you guys could email me, that'd be great. Also, the official email for the Older Brother podcast is olderbrother@yahoo.com. If you have an interesting story want to send fan mail as it pertains to older brother, please do. Do not send requests that would go to Asshole Consulting thinking you're going to get free consulting, because you will not. I am America's older brother. I will beat you and I will charge you. So send the questions to help over at Asshole Consulting. But if you have something of germane topic or interest that would be interest of the show, or just a good anecdote, or you want to talk about chicks with big boobs, send that to olderbrother@yahoo.com. What else? Monetization has still not been approved by YouTube, even though you guys realize we're on episode 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 3 months.
Episode 12. Wow, that's time flies, man. It really does speed up as you get older, kids. Enjoy it now.
Scientifically proven. Yep.
Yeah. What's funny though is this is just, I know a lot of people are talking, well, when do you get the super chats? When are you going to get this up? It's whenever YouTube authorizes it. They are now officially, we got this thing up and running and qualified for monetization in a month? Is that about how long maybe a month and a half. So now YouTube is basically two weeks late minimum on either authorizing it or not. The Streamlabs, which I did learn, the OBS is what they call it. We could take donations through that. But I have yet to figure out how to get hosts on the show, like guests like having DT and John and Ann and everybody through Streamlabs. I know how to do it solo, and so I'm doing all my Clary podcasts via Streamlabs over the YouTube channel. And you can make donations there. But it looks like we're just going to I've got to figure out how to work Streamlabs and have guests on, which is probably an engineering nightmare I don't want to go through. Or we're just going to have to wait until YouTube monetizes the site. Good news is, though, I'm off the naughty list on the other channel in about 2 weeks, I believe. So we can, in theory, do super chats over there. Otherwise, if you did...
Are you in a Facebook jail?
No, I'm not. I'm in Facebook jail, and then I got a strike against me on my other channel. Jeez. So I can't do live streams.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the whole reason of having this, and the whole reason I want to keep it PG-13 here, because this is the backup battleship once again. This is the nice battleship. This is the battleship where I say, go through my archive and try and find something that we said was mean and horrible and bad. And then we get the sweet Super Chats money, inevitably.
So we can't use the word globalist on this channel.
We can't use the word globalist, and you can't use he, she, or her, or him.
And you can't. You also, no one is going to be allowed on this channel who has a lawn.
Right.
Correct. And you definitely would be kicked off of this show if we found out you were using pressure washers to clean your sidewalks.
The show will consist of us just saying hello to each other.
Yes.
For 2 hours.
No, it'll be like what's it called? Demolition Man. Be well.
Right.
I think that's it. Yeah. All right. Any party wisdom, guys?
DT, you got anything to say? Something you want to plug?
Oh, I haven't been writing any articles. I don't know. Should I write an article about how even if Anne gets a boob job, ultimately it's meaningless from a nihilistic perspective? Should I do that? Should I? Maybe.
No. You should write an article on why Anne should get a boob job and all the benefits.
You should say why Anne's boobs are good for America.
Yeah. So that's the last thing I got to just say. Boobs for Anne.
It does make nihilists happy, I guess. That would be a way to attack that. Happynihilist.net. I need to get off my ass and start writing again. But
and wait, John, you got to. Sorry to interrupt, John. It's boobsforann.com.
No. Hashtag boobs for boobs. Hashtag Twitter it. Boob BOOBS.
I know how to spell boobs, John.
the number 4 Ann ANN. So just hashtag boobs. That'll be, and I'll put the channel up. I'm struggling.
All right. We got it.
Struggling with Streamlabs. So
DT, continue on. Sorry about it. Happynihilist.com.
Happynihilist.net.
Net. All right, good. Yeah, write the article up. Why boobs are good for America.
Even though ultimately in the future, it's all meaningless. Right now, it matters.
That's why it's even more important. That's why it's even more important.
Yes, because it matters now.
It matters now. I've tried to tell women that. I've had a couple guys like, "Oh, I'm so jealous that your girl dresses up in lingerie." And I've told a couple women who are friends and also clients, I say, the day is coming, and it's coming quickly. Your husband is going to stop asking for naked pictures of you, and is going to stop asking to wear lingerie. That day is coming. And they kind of look, and then they think about it. It's like, yep, it is coming. You might ask some other girl for,
Yeah, exactly. That's the day you got to really worry about.
That's the day you really got to worry about. But I just, I always got a kick out of how I understand that is the woman's moneymaker. That's how they make their money. You don't want to give it away for free. But by God, if you're married and whatnot, pack it in. Have fun, man. Get that shit and do it to the max, because the day is coming. The guys could be like, yeah, those are too pruny. I hope the game's on. Hey, Packers versus the Vikings. Here we go.
There's a cool special about Jupiter on Discovery Channel.
What are you, Joe Souchere?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Thanks for being on the show, guys, and thanks for everybody listening. We'll have this up on the RSS feed and MP3 later. Toodles.